Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Week 14 Connects You launch. This is going to be the last of the digital citizenship topics, and the theme for this week is selecting the appropriate digital tool. The weekly objective for this week, we hope that by the end of the week you're able to say, I can categorize mobile apps and explain how I can use one from each category to enhance my life. So first, I want you to think about it. Think about the typical ways that you use your smartphone or your tablet or whatever device you use to connect to the internet. What are you spending most of your time doing? Would you say it actually enhances your life? And then how could you be using it to improve the quality of your life? I know that phones are fun and iPads are fun, but if you're using it mostly for entertainment, while it does enhance your life and makes you happier while you're using it, there's so many other things that your phone could be helping you do. And that's what this week's topic is going to be about. So for this launch, we're going to be learning a little bit about the basics, the apps that come preloaded onto most mobile devices, and how you can use those to really be a better adult. So the default apps that you have on most phones are Calendar, Settings, Safari, or some form of internet, Contacts, Notes, Camera, and Maps. And these are often some of the ones that we choose to try to delete or store in a folder and not really use again. And we end up just downloading a whole bunch of apps to do the same thing. So I want to kind of focus more this week on how you can use each of these to be a more productive adult. So the Calendar app, it can be used for time management. You can set reminders of when you go to a place, please remind me. So it'll use your GPS location to remind you, hey, you wanted to do this next time you went to this place. You can add events straight from emails or texts. That way you don't forget it. You just get it done with right then. You can plan long-term projects. So those of you who have projects that are due 3 months from now, rather than waiting a week out, you could kind of plan the stages of the project and put those in your phone or your iPad. Just a recognition of important dates or holidays so that you don't forget. Putting in a class and work schedule. A lot of you aren't working. Those of you that have jobs, it might not be a set 9 to 5 job. You might work mornings one week and nights the next, and it's hard to keep track of. So putting that in your phone so you actually can have a calendar and keep on top of things. And also scheduling appointments. It's something that you're going to have to do as an adult. You're not always going to have your parent there to make these appointments for you. So it's important to make sure you're using your calendar to its biggest potential. The Settings app, what I really like is the accessibility features. If you've never looked at the accessibility, there's tons of things you can do to make this phone more accessible to all. So people that might struggle with reading or vision or hearing, there's all sorts of things that can help you in there. So really just going in and looking. But some of the ones that I really like is that it can read any text out loud. So just like we've taught you on your computers that you can do text to speech, your phone can do the same. You can use your camera as a magnifier if you're somebody who might struggle to see small print. It can magnify things for you through your camera. It can zoom or use large text options so you're not always squinting. Siri or whatever form of assistant is available to you. And then also different sound and vibration options. Safari, the one thing I wanted to point out, I know most of you just know that's an internet browser, but what I really like about Safari is the reader feature that will simplify text display. And what I mean by that, on the left side you can see there's all sorts of, there's different ads and dates, and there's all sorts of text that's not really a part of the actual article itself. So if you hit that button in the top left in the URL bar, it'll actually give you the option to go into Reader, the Reader feature, and then it'll just simply pull the text and make it a much more simple version for you to read. So I actually do that a lot because so many articles have way too much text that's not really even a part of the article itself. So I do recommend the Reader feature if you use Safari. Contacts, most of you obviously use contacts to at least put your friends and family's phone in there, but also putting and noting who is your emergency contact, putting in mailing addresses. It's important to know where people live so that you can then use maps and actually get to those people. Putting in their email addresses so that you can contact them in other ways, putting in your doctor, your dentist, other people that you're going to see frequently and need to schedule appointments with, and also different school and work contacts. Your notes, I use this feature a ton, mostly for grocery and shopping lists. You can do any checklists of any form, really. You could also be putting your medication list and your dosage in here so that you don't always have to rely on a parent or guardian to tell you, hey, here's your medication, here's what you take. and here's when you take it. You can have that information available to you. You can also record information with the voice function. If you're somebody who is not the best at typing or spelling, you can speak right in there and it'll record the note for you. The camera feature, I think, is obviously it takes pictures, but there's so much that you can use your camera for. Well, obviously you can check your appearance. So it's important to, before you go to work or school or wherever you're going, to know what you look like. You know, if you haven't had a chance to look at a mirror, your phone will function as a mirror. Check your teeth. Do you look presentable? Because that is a big part of having and keeping a job, is to make sure you look presentable. Another thing is a document scanner. So taking pictures of receipts, medical bills, tax information, all the fun documents that come along with being an adult. It's nice to have a picture of that you can then store and not lose, because I'm one to lose paper, but I'm not really going to lose the image of that paper. It can translate text and images. This is the coolest thing, I think. For those of you who are struggling readers and you're going to be out on your own someday and you're not sure you could read this menu, or you're not sure you can read these street signs, anything that you point your camera at and take a picture of, the technology's there that it's actually able to translate images now and read out to you what is in that picture. So your camera can actually function as your ability to read if you are somebody who struggles and is not confident in that area. It also has a QR code reader to access websites. I know it hasn't really caught on too much in America yet, but they keep saying it's on the rise. But if you would go to Asia, there are QR codes on every single thing ever. Every menu, every sign, it's a QR code to take you directly to the link where you need to be, rather than typing in a URL code. You could take pictures of where you are so you can navigate back to that point. I use this most at the airport parking lot or outside of stadiums, different parking garage. It's just taking a picture of the intersection so I know what 2 streets I was at, also what level I was on, or, you know, if I'm at the airport and I'm parked 2 miles away and extended, I need to know that I was in 33G, because after a fun week of vacation, you're typically not going to remember the exact area that you parked. So that way I always use it to get back to where I am. And then also just using it to screenshot important information. And lastly would be maps. I use maps a good bit, and I'm sure you'll use it more as you transition into adulthood. But you could determine how long it will take to get somewhere by walking or driving. It does use current driving conditions and traffic conditions. So if you're somebody who hopefully is going to work and it's important to know how long it's going to take to get to work that day, or to a doctor's appointment, you don't want to be 20 minutes late. Being on time is very important as an adult. So this will tell you, you know, how much time you need to give yourself to get there. You could find food, gas, hotels, restaurants, whatever, anything that's located near you. You can get assistance with coordinating public transportation. So if you're somebody who's going to rely heavily on a bus or a subway or things like that, this is going to help you understand where those intersections are and where you need to be and how long it's going to take you to get there. Another thing I like to do, you can drop a pin to let others know where you are. So, you know, I'm in my 30s, but I still send my mom a pin every once in a while so she knows where I am if something were to happen. But it's nice to kind of let people know where you are. And then also sometimes I like to use Street View to preview a place before going in. So I do this on Google Maps, so that is one that I've had to download. But you can, a lot of times you can walk down a whole street in Street View and see where you are. So if you're somebody who doesn't like to be surprised and you like to have smooth transitions into places and to really have a plan, you could look at Street View first and kind of see how things are going to be for yourself. All right, so your activity for this week, what I'd like you to do is go back into Google Classroom, and the link that is posted below this presentation, there is a Padlet, and what I'd like you to do is share with your classmates 2 mobile apps that you currently use, or if you do not have a phone or tablet, what you will use in the future that will help you be a productive adult. So again, that's on the Padlet that's in the link. Please do not just put it in Google Classroom. I want you to post it on the Padlet. And then for the rest of this week, the activities that you're going to be doing, you're going to be learning about different apps that you can download to just help be more productive and efficient in your adulthood, as well as on your transition from high school to adulthood. So any questions, please let us know.